Thank you, everyone. Thank you, PSU Transformation, for giving MCX a chance to be partnering with you all and be present here on this very important topic for Viksit Bharat today for PSU transformation in many terms. So, yes, we have been discussing how electronic changes or digital modernization is the key, and here MCX stands as which brings an instrument tool for Indian markets to hedge. Down the line we will see, we all know how prices of petrol, crude oil and everything have been so volatile. So there's something that it's not under our control, but yes, we can try and manage that. And how to manage that is what I would like to share thoughts on this. So MCX basically is a commodity derivatives exchange under the regulatory purview of SEBI. So we have 4 different segments on our platform. So in case of energy, we have crude oil, natural gas and electricity contracts. Then we have bullion, wherein we have gold and silver contracts. We have metals, base metals, where we cover aluminium, copper, lead, nickel, steel and zinc. And then we have a few agri commodities also. So basically commodity derivatives instrument provide you a tool for hedging, a tool for managing this kind of volatility which we see in any of the products. And if you pick up, so very recent phenomenon, what happened on Wednesday. So Wednesday we have seen, everybody would have observed how the equity markets crashed. So, but what was the basis behind equity markets crashing? So there's nothing which was in our control. Suddenly, the crude oil prices saw a huge jump because there is something happening in geopolitical. The war initiated again, the ceasefire closed down, and we get up with this kind of news, and there is a huge volatility. But what do? It is not in our control. But yes, while we talk of being sustainable environment is one word, and I would like to say there is also a concept of sustainable companies. The companies which can sustain this kind of volatilities over a larger period of time and maintain their profitability, maintain their cost effectiveness. And hedging is one thing. Hedging or risk management is the only thing that can help us create maybe sustainable companies over a period of time. So what you do to manage this is, yes, there requires a lot of planning behind it. There are risk management strategies that will go behind it. But then these kind of scenarios can be managed well. So basically today, there used to be a thought that hedging is just a market view. Okay, if we see the markets are going to go up, we will hedge. But in today's geopolitical environment, where India is basically connected to every country in the world, every decision which happens across the globe will impact India or our companies in one way or the other. So hedging now doesn't remain only as a market view, it becomes a budget decision as well. It becomes a decision before you enter that year, because we do budgeting so that we can manage our year across well, our financial year across well. So risk management or hedging should go as part of those budgeting decisions. That's the way we can see. So if you see, there are 4 countries plotted: Europe, India, China, US. So I'll focus on energy right now, and I have my colleague who is in the next session will focus on base metals. So crude oil and gas. So if you see oil, yes, we are 85% more dependent on the globe because we are a major importer. Then gas also, we are a major importer. So price is not in our control. The only thing is how to manage this volatility is in our control. So crude oil being more on import linked, and then we have LNG, spot dependence is too high, and fuel costs. So pass-through mechanism does not operate in all the companies, and specifically in our PSU OMCs, a pass-through mechanism does not work, which they have seen over last 2-3 years period during the war period, and a complete pass-through of the increase in cost really does not work. So how are these oil and gas companies really exposed? Now, they are exposed through different means. One is, yes, we are importing crude, so there's a fuel cost component. So if the prices fluctuate, obviously we are going to import it at a higher price. Then there is supply transit, which again, we have seen how Strait of Hormuz closing down impacted the price. The actual crude price may not be that high, but if the supply chain closes down, so obviously the bottleneck will lead to the increase in the prices. Then yes, there is currency risk always carries because of the fluctuation in USD INR rate, dollar strengthening higher, that adds to the cost. Indirectly, it adds to the PNL of the and all the PSUs. Natural gas and LNG, so on that side, gas and LNG costs also swing with the global supply. Though, yes, around 50% we are producers on the gas, we have domestic natural gas, but then that natural gas is actually for very important sectors like fertilizers use it, and so these are the priority sectors, CGD and the fertilizers being the priority sectors. The other sectors depend on the LNG, the import of the gas. And yes, margin and pass-through, as I said. So if all our OMCs and other companies need to maintain their margins, their budgeted or profitability margins, their cost effectiveness, pass-through is not the mechanism. That's not a cost which, okay, if I'm buying my I'll just say if I'm buying my raw material, I can just pass through and add to the cost plus margins and add to the selling price. This really does not effectively maintain in this competitive world, and specifically for PSUs, because PSUs, besides being, yes, profit making entities, they also have to carry an extra additional, I would say, a liability of maintaining the country's citizens. So maintaining an efficiency of services for the citizens of India, that's an extra load that PSUs carry in this, and that's the extra burden of moving Viksit Bharat. It lies on PSU, and they also are the, I would say, benchmark setters. So if PSUs adopt certain policies, if PSUs adopt certain procedures in their business, doing business, those get adopted towards the private sector also, because that's the flow which happens. If a PSU is doing it, there's a benchmark. If PSU is doing it, there is certain kind of a trust in those policies. So that's the policy. So hedging is one such thing which at MCX level we have been engaging with lot of PSUs on this front to promote this hedging. So, and how do we do it? Yes, commodity derivatives, basically across the globe, derivatives are considered to be the best risk management tool, because when the derivatives trade, I'll just go to another slide first. Because these derivatives are built on a regulated exchange infrastructure, so which is under the purview of SEBI. So yes, rules and regulations are set, and the word with derivatives, I think everybody here said derivatives satta hai. Derivatives is speculative. But in today's regulations, with the guidance of SEBI sitting at the regulatory front, I think derivatives, if we really do it for the risk management purposes, it is not a speculative instrument, it's a risk management instrument. Then there are clearing corporations, separate clearing corporations, which are providing novation or counterparty guarantee. So there is zero credit risk, because our clearing corporation stands between the buyer and seller on each matching of the trade. So there is a counterparty guarantee over there. There is a online real-time risk management mechanism. Daily mark-to-market happens over there. And there are standardized contract specifications, so which operate as a quasi legal document for us, because whatever is mentioned in the contract design or the specs, those are standardized. The buyers and sellers are anonymous. So these strengthen this market and give it the credibility or the trust, and all this entirely leads to efficient and transparent price discovery mechanism. So these are the basic reasons where I think derivatives should no more be considered only as speculative. We should try and understand how derivatives across the globe really are used for hedging purposes by across all the companies across. So before I have one slide, yes. So if we actually come over this, so there are two different contracts which are actually listed on, I'll talk of energy and electricity separately. So crude oil and natural gas. So in crude oil, our underlying is actually, we have an agreement with CME, so our underlying is WTI, and in natural gas, our underlying is Henry Hub. So, and in crude oil, we have different variants, so futures and options. So there are futures contracts, which is a 100-barrel contract, and then we have a mini contract, a 10-barrel contract. So and in natural gas also, 1,250 MMBTU, the main contract, and there's a mini contract. So why these mini contracts were introduced was for the use of our smaller corporation, SME, MSMEs, because those are the companies which obviously are not exposed to very high exposure. So for them, these smaller range of mini contracts have been introduced. And we are glad to share that there are a lot of companies who are hedging on there are a lot of end consumer industries who have started hedging on this crude oil and natural gas and also utilizing the mini contracts. So if we see, there are so many, crude oil and natural gas are one word, but then there are so many byproducts of crude oil. And all these byproducts, so whether it's an LDO, toluene, benzene, furnace oil, these are utilized in different industries in different forms, but all of them stand a high correlation with the crude oil contract main. Because across the globe also, so if you go and see, we cannot have derivative contracts for all these because that is going to break the liquidity. So generally what is, you have a main contract, and then all these byproducts can be hedged through this main contract if the correlation between the prices is high. So as a benchmark or as a risk management consultant, around above 0.85 is generally considered to be a very high correlation, which will cover your basis risk also. So that's how all these byproducts are also can be hedged indirectly, or it's called a surrogate hedging with the main contracts. Recently, last year, July 2025, with SEBI and CRC permitting us, so we also launched electricity futures. So we, in last May, we have seen how the heat waves have impacted and how the prices, the power sector prices have also become very volatile. And for this purpose, we have listed our electricity futures contracts. Now these contracts have the underlying as the IEX spot price, the day-ahead market pricing. So how these contracts operate, because these future prices in over this last period of 1 year have shown that they show a perfect convergence with the spot price, which indicates how efficient they are and how from the generators to the discoms and to the end consumers, these electricity futures can be used for effective hedging. As a policy advocacy effort, I would like to say, since it's a PSU transformation, so for the state discoms to hedge, the requirement was that there are state regulatory commissions. Now, state electricity regulatory commissions had to make a change in the act. But yes, in all these efforts and seeing how these instruments are useful, I would say the UPPCL, so your Uttar Pradesh Electricity Commission, has already made a change in the state act and to conduct and they have permitted the Uttar Pradesh DISCOM to conduct a pilot risk management mechanism hedging. So that's the impact, and there are many other states which are following the purview, and we are doing a lot of advocacy efforts with them so that this becomes effectively, because we all understand how DISCOMs have been sitting on a lot of subsidies are provided every year to DISCOMs, but these DISCOMs can also become self-reliant, and with this hedging, this will help them to, over the periods which are like sometimes they have to procure on the spot at very high prices, sometimes they have to sell off at a very low prices. So to manage their P&Ls, this hedging instruments, electricity futures, can really help. And this is one such commodity which is, or this one such contract which is a purely domestic contract. Because if you see, I would take the example of OMCs. Now, OMCs, if they hedge currently also, they can go abroad and hedge. They can hedge on CME, they can hedge on ICE, they can hedge through OTC markets. But electricity is one such national commodity where prices are not reflective of any other country. So these prices will reflect only of Indian markets. If one has to hedge, any corporate has to hedge electricity, they will have to hedge in Indian markets. And that is why SEBI and CRC, who is the sectoral regulator, power sector regulator, jointly approved the launch of the electricity futures in Indian markets. In view of time, this is what some of the initiatives SEBI is taking up across the world for the investor awareness. And there are certain do's and don'ts, and SEBI has also introduced SMS and email alerts to the investors. Many of you must be investing equity on equity, and we regularly get, and on the commodity derivatives front also, such go on. And there is an online dispute resolution mechanism. So in the morning, sir was highlighting whether on the e-commerce when you purchase, if do you have some resolution mechanism? Yes, for the derivatives, our regulator has also set up an online dispute resolution. And at the exchange level also, we have a complete investor grievance and redressal mechanism set up. So these are some of the steps which the different levels, the different escalation metrics, everything is available on SEBI website. Everything, details are available on MCX India website also. And yes, basic do's and don'ts, we should always be an informed investor. Now, whether it's for the corporates where they would like to invest or they would like to hedge, or whether it's for the individuals, we have to be always informed investors, and there's no concept of assured returns, which goes across the board, whether it's equities, whether it's commodities, whether there's any other asset class. There are no assured concept of assured returns. And one should trade only on recognized commodity derivatives exchanges. By recognized, we mean they should be licensed or approved by the SEBI as a regulator. So yes, the last thing, yes, we can manage, if we manage our risk, yes, we can live our life on the hedge. So hedging is one thing. I think everybody can take back this word from here, risk management and hedging. And if you have any, we'll be more than happy to connect with you offline, one-to-one, to take up seminars for your respective teams, awareness seminars, because this is a concept where India is still at a very nascent stage, and we have a long way to go. But along with each one of you sitting here, I think PSUs carry an extra, they will have to move one extra step on this front for the private sector to follow. Thank you so much. Thank you.